Hello, we are POL242Berlin2013, and our presentation will be on American attitudes towards rights for gays and lesbians. In the United States, there has been a recent increase in support for gay and lesbian rights. This progress includes the legalization of gay marriage in 17 states, the repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell military policy in 2010, and the ruling of the Defense of Marriage Act as unconstitutional in June of 2013. Given these recent advancements, our research question was to determine which personal factors affect individual support for gay and lesbian rights.
Our research analyzed data from the American National Election Study of 2012 with a sample size of 2,454 respondents. The dependent variable in this research defined as support for gay and lesbian rights was framed by three separate indicators. These indicators measured respondents' strength of support for laws protecting gays and lesbians from job discrimination, allowing gays and lesbians to serve in the armed forces, and allowing gays and lesbians to legally marry. The independent variables selected for this research included individuals' level of education, levels of religious observance, and political ideology. The magnitude of the relationship between the independent and dependent variables was measured using a correlation matrix and multiple regression analysis. A reliability analysis of the dependent variable index showed that the standardized alpha was 0.74 and was strongest when all three indicators were used. Each indicator was recoded according to a 0 to 2 scale, where 0 corresponds to minimal support while 2 corresponds to maximum support. Combining these indicators creates the raw index frequency distribution. The raw index was recoded into three levels of support for gay rights. Those who scored in the lowest 33 percentile were placed in the low support category, the middle 33 were placed in the medium, and the top 33 percentile were placed in high.
The first independent variable was respondents' levels of completed education. We hypothesized that individuals with higher levels of education would be more likely to favor gay rights than those with lower levels of education. This is based on findings by Julian Olander et al. Olander reasons that those who have been to university have a greater capacity for reasoning, acceptance of civil liberties, and an increased tolerance for differences within society. Thus, this tolerance would naturally extend towards gays and lesbians. The second independent variable used was religiosity. We hypothesized that those who identify themselves as predominantly secular would be more likely to support gay rights. This is based off the findings of Sanabria, which found that religion has a positive correlation with homoprejudice. Sanabria argues that since homosexuality is seen as sinful or distasteful in most religions, those who hold religion as a major factor in their lives are more likely to be prejudiced against gays and lesbians. The final independent variable was the individual's political ideology. We hypothesized that liberals would be more likely to support gay rights than conservatives. This notion is supported by the work of Joseph Schwartz, who determined that political ideology, along with religiosity, are among the best predictors of support for gay rights. Schwartz argues that liberal ideologies have historically been more supportive of individuals and their rights, while conservatives are more likely to favor traditionalism and established norms.
In our correlation matrix, education had a Pearson's R of 0.109, and this shows that education is not useful in explaining variance of our dependent variable. Religion scored a Pearson's R value of 0.267, which indicates that it has a moderately strong relationship with the dependent variable. Finally, the strongest relationship found was between political ideology and the dependent variable, since the Pearson's R value was 0.482. The correlation between two of our independent variables, religiosity and political ideology, was higher than expected. At 0.243, it suggests that there might be a problem of collinearity. This is evaluated further in the regression analysis. Political ideology scored a beta of 0.440, which indicates that it is the strongest predictor among our three independent variables. Additionally, the adjusted R-squared value shows that 27% of the variance in a dependent variable is explained by our independent variables. Therefore, the result from our regression analysis is generally consistent with the results of our correlation matrix. Previous concerns of collinearity found in the correlation matrix were alleviated by the high tolerance scores of the independent variables.
Education was a poor indicator of support for gay rights. The explained variance was only 1% and thus a classified as very weak relationship. This finding is inconsistent with the literature on the subject. However, regression analysis of religion showed a stronger relationship with the dependent variable, accounting for 7% of the explained variance. The strongest indicator of support for gay rights was political ideology, which accounted for 23% of the explained variance. Thus, our results for religion and political ideology are consistent with the academic literature and support our hypotheses. Olander's research suggests college education occurs in a liberal setting and would expose individuals to different schools of thought. However, one possible reason for the inconsistency with our findings may be that some colleges have a direct affiliation with religion. We also know from past research and literature that religion is negatively correlated with support for gay rights. Furthermore, simple exposure to liberal education may not translate directly into acceptance of liberal values and gay rights.
To conclude, our research shows that political ideology is the best predictor of support for gay rights. Further research may be conducted to determine whether factors influence government action in support for gay rights. These include pressure to conform to a growing movement, the institutional barriers present in the American political system, and public focus on electoral candidates' religiosity. Thank you.